Picture this. The Chicago Sky roll out their biggest Barbie night yet, decked out in pink, buzzing about Angel Reese as their star attraction. But plot twist, Angel isn't even in the lineup. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever stroll into the United Center and deliver a savage 9-3-7-8 beatdown over Chicago, marking their third straight win this season. On a night all about Barbie, the Fever turned it into Fever Night. Without Caitlin Clark suiting up, Kelsey Mitchell exploded for a season-high 35 points, clearly showing this much-hyped rivalry doesn't hold up when the real game is played. The media keeps hyping Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese as the WNBA's next great rivalry, drawing parallels to Magic matchups like Bird versus Magic. But when you crawl through the actual results, the scoreboard tells the truth. Indiana has crushed Chicago 6 of the last 7 times they've met, 3 times this season alone, and outscored them by a staggering 77 points across just those 3 games. That isn't rivalry, it's domination. And yet, Atlanta narratives persist because the talking heads benefit from the storyline, even if it doesn't match the box scores. Let's break down what really happened. Angel wasn't even active due to injury. Sky Marketing had turned their big night into a Barbie spectacle around her persona. Instead, Indiana's bench turned their court into a clinic. They didn't just win, they made a statement without their franchise player on the floor. That says more than RSVPs or pink balloons ever could. It shows which franchise is building real momentum, and which is stacking hype. The truth. This isn't a showdown between Clark and Reese. It's been a target practice session for Indiana. The Sky keep booking big venues, pushing themed promotions, hoping to catch fire. But every time, the Fever show up, play harder, execute smarter, and win again. And that's without key players like Clark. It's gut check time for the Sky. Either embrace that gap or keep pretending the narrative means something beyond the ring. What stood out most? Kelsey Mitchell. On a night she had to carry without Clark, Mitchell delivered a jaw-dropping 35-point performance, shooting 12 of 19 overall and 7 of 10 from deep. That's 70% from beyond the arc under pressure. She joined Clark as only the second Fever player ever with that stat line, 35+, 5+ assists, 5+ triples in one game. That's franchise history being rewritten in real time on the Sky's signature night. Let's not forget rookie Michaela Timpson. With limited minutes, she still dropped 14 points on 75% shooting, grabbed key rebounds, got a few deflections, and showed calm beyond her years. And new addition Chloe BBY signed a 7-day contract, stepped in, knocked down 8 points in 10 minutes, stretching the floor and opening space for Boston and Mitchell. And Aaliyah Boston herself delivered her third straight double-double with 14 points, 11 boards, plus assists, steals, and blocks. That's depth. That's coherence. That's a team that operates beyond one star. On the flip side, Chicago looked disoriented. Their offense bogged down, turnovers piled up, execution fell apart. Players openly admitted they had a screw-it mentality before tip-off. On Barbie night. That's embarrassing. Meanwhile, Indiana fans were louder, their energy more electric. Social feeds quickly dubbed it Fever Night. Completed scorecards, not just marketing, told the reality. Indiana's plan beats Chicago's theme party every time. When the night wrapped, the stats were damning. Indiana shot better, passed better, rebounded harder, forced 17 turnovers, and dropped 24 assists on 34 makes. Chicago had just 16 assists. It wasn't close. That wasn't luck. That was structure, intensity, and belief from a team building something bigger. Meanwhile, Angel Reese remains sidelined, and her trap takeover campaign looks like a bold slogan without substance. This game tells a larger story about where the league is headed. Caitlin Clark may not have hit the court, but her presence fueled the buzz. Her teammates backed it up. Which franchise looks like a future contender? Indiana, hands down. Meanwhile, Chicago keeps banking on branding, hoping Angel can be the next big thing, except the results aren't proving the projection. So here's the question. Is it really rivalry if one side can't show up? Or is this just the Fever building momentum behind the scenes while the Sky keep chasing the mirror image of what they want to be? As Caitlin Clark heals and Andy Indiana continues stacking wins, Chicago's strategy, big venues, special promotions, Barbie branding, feels increasingly hollow. And the gap is only widening. If you're riding with the Fever, drop a "fired up" below. Because everything on the floor tonight proved, this team is more than one player. It's systems, chemistry, and execution coming through. And as Clark returns healthy in August, add another level to what already looks like a playoff juggernaut. Chicago. Right now, they're still searching for the moment that never came, and the result on the court doesn't lie. And here's what makes this even more powerful. The Fever aren't just winning, they're learning how to win without leaning solely on Caitlin Clark's presence. That's a massive shift in team identity. It's easy to ride the wave of a superstar spotlight, but it's another thing entirely when the rest of the roster steps up and defines their own roles. Mitchell, Boston, Wallace, Timpson, these players aren't just filling gaps. They're building chemistry, accountability, and most importantly, trust. And when Clark returns, that trust turns into a weapon. Suddenly, it's not just about stopping Caitlin, it's about dealing with 5 players who know how to hurt you. Meanwhile, Chicago feels stuck in a cycle of over-promising and under-delivering. The branding screams confidence, but the basketball says otherwise. For all the flash and promotion, the Sky still haven't found an identity that translates to the scoreboard. Injuries aside, the lack of urgency, hustle, and execution is impossible to ignore. The fans feel it, the media sees it, and even the players sound like they're searching for answers. There's no shame in rebuilding, but pretending it's something else just makes the losses sting harder. And it's worth asking, what happens to the so-called rivalry now? Because a rivalry requires competition, tension, a back and forth. But when one side consistently dominates and the other side doesn't even show up, it stops feeling like a rivalry and starts feeling like a one-sided storyline kept alive by media wishful thinking. Sure, there's drama in the personalities, and sure, the social media narratives will keep spinning, but on the court? There's no rivalry when the scoreboard says blow out 3 games in a row. Kelsey Mitchell might be the most underrated story in the league right now. 4 years, she's been quietly delivering, often overlooked by national media. But this performance? This was a declaration. A thunderclap. On a night when Clark wasn't there to draw double teams or set the tempo, Mitchell took the keys and drove straight through Chicago's defense like she owned the place. 7 threes. Surgical footwork. A calm, killer instinct. She didn't just win the game, she snatched the spotlight